just felt like you were rocking back and forth and just kind of treaded for 15 seconds about, and then it was over.
Residents of Rich County caught off guard a little bit when the biggest earthquake in the state in almost 2 decades hit yesterday. And that has some wondering if people around the rest of the state are prepared for other seismic events. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Yesterday's quake had a magnitude of 4.9, relatively little damage.
Yeah, however, it did jolt people as far away as Lehigh, Harriman, and Salt Lake.
The whole living room kind of started to wobble. It wasn't even really a shaking sensation, but it started to wobble.
Seismologists at the University of Utah say it is likely there will be aftershocks in the coming days, but only a 10% chance that anything bigger than the initial quake will occur.
I cannot say and give people perfect assurance there will not be a following larger earthquake.
So what happens if a major earthquake hits the state?
Will people be prepared, or will there be panic? Sheriff Park looking at what you need to know about earthquake preparedness. And Sheriff, this could be a blessing in disguise for a lot of people. It forces you to check and make sure you are ready.
Yeah, this is a call to get prepared. While this earthquake is likely not a precursor to what many call the big one, it is a warning sign. It's a wake-up call for a lot of Utahns to get ready.
The people who think, oh, we'll never really have a big earthquake in Utah, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But you know what? How nice to be prepared.
If there's one thing Susan Thomas from the Utah chapter of the American Red Cross could convey, it's that everyone in Utah should be prepared for a natural disaster.
People who are prepared, when something happens, they just fare so much better.
When it comes to an earthquake, whether it's a 4.9 jolt in Randolph, Utah, or an 8.8 disaster like the one in Chile, there are some basic key steps you can take to be prepared. The first is to have a plan.
Some of the biggest questions we get are, how am I going to get a hold of my family if I'm at work and my kids are at school and my husband's at work?
Discuss with your family what to do in case you are separated during an emergency. Choose 2 meeting places, one outside your home and one outside your neighborhood in case you can't get to your home. Also, choose an out-of-area emergency contact person because it may be easier to text or call long distances if local phone lines are down. The next step is to have a first aid kit filled with the basic supplies you'll need to get around.
What's really good to have are things like sturdy shoes, gloves, flashlight, water, first aid kit. I could go on and on about how important that first aid kit is.
One important piece of equipment to have on hand is a radio, along with some batteries. Chances are your TV won't work, so radio will be the best way for information to be given out about relief efforts. Thomas also recommends that you have a 72-hour kit, complete with water and extra medication.
It just makes you feel better to know that you have the items that you need and you know what to do, and you had some first aid and CPR training if you need that, and you're going to be safe, you're going to have a plan, you're going to be able to find out where your family is and make sure that they're okay.
Of course, there are many more tips on how to prepare for an earthquake or a natural disaster. The American Red Cross has a checklist. We have it connected to our website, ksl.com. Back to you.
Great reminder.